Hey everybody, it's Kamate. I am back with another tutorial, and this tutorial is going to be my top 7 foundations for dark skin, women of color, matte textured, you name it, I have it. Stay tuned so you can see my favorite foundations. Alright, so we're starting off fresh face. I have absolutely no makeup on, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my favorite 7, it's 7 foundations, but there's 2 that I mix, and that's the only way like I'll wear them. I will not wear them alone. But anyway, I am going to now display my 7 dark skin friendly foundations. So let's get started, and I'm going from the ones that I keep staring at them. I'm going from the ones that I like from 7 to 1 basically. So like, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and use my ColourPop F16 brush. It's just a flat synthetic duo fiber brush. I actually like this brush. It's nice and dense as well. I actually don't use this brush to apply my foundation, but I think it would be best for the demonstration, so that's why I'm using this. So I am going to go ahead and start with Fenty Beauty. The color I have is the 470 Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. I am featuring mostly, I think everything I have is like matte or natural matte finish. I personally have combination oily skin, so I prefer like the matte finish foundations, and I have one that is actually a radiant finish, but it's still not, I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't even classify it as a dewy finish. I would say natural matte, that one is. Anyhow, I don't wear this one alone. It ends up becoming too red, so I mix it with the ColourPop No Filter foundation. And it's so funny because a lot of people felt like, I don't know, a lot of like makeup artists that I know and such, when I had conversations with them, they weren't really feeling it, but I feel like they made a lot of colors that were in betweens and olives and like yellow undertones or golden undertones, and I feel like a lot of companies don't do that. They actually opt for doing more redder undertones for black people, and it's like, we all don't have red undertone. And then you have people like me, like you see, if you really look, my chest is really golden, my face is darker than like my chest area, so it is a little bit red. And when I do get darker in the summer, yeah, it does tend to be a little bit red, but not that much. So anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and mix these 2. I'm gonna swatch it on the back of my hand. I do shake them. That's that one. And then I'm gonna shake this one. And these 2, they actually feel very similar. Like they're, as you can see, like it's very slippery and very wet, this foundation. They're both water-based, as you can see. Look how this one is a little warmer, but it like matches my face, but it really oxidizes really red. And then you can see that one, that matches my hand exactly. So I'm gonna apply that. So this is the Rihanna Pro Filter Foundation in the color 470, and this is the ColourPop No Filter Foundation in the color Deep Dark 200. Which is the Nars Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. Okay, that's what that looks like. And as you can see, another one that's a bit on the redder side, but I think it, like, you know, matches me nicely. It does oxidize a little bit red as well, but I'm actually okay with this one, so that's fine. This is in the color Namibia. Namibia. Yes, that's that color. So that's the Nars, and this is the one that I was saying that is a natural, like, they say radiant, so radiant meaning, you know, glowy and dewy, but I find that this foundation is more like a natural matte finish. So I'm just gonna go ahead and shake it. This one is not as soupy, as you can see, as the other two foundations that I initially showed you, and I'm gonna go. I like it. Alright, use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation in the color Truffle. So that's what this looks like. Her logo is at the top. As you can see, it's the color of it. I feel like this is more me when I'm in the winter, fall months. A little bit more yellow or a little bit more golden. I like this foundation. I like, it's so funny, I actually do like sticks a lot, stick foundations. I'm still a liquid, like water-based liquid foundation girl, but I must say I feel like I use less product with the sticks. I will say though, like, if you don't like that foundation feel, you might not really care for sticks, because like I feel like their consistency is a bit like thicker than like water-based liquid ones, because there's definitely, I believe, silicone based foundations, and those you feel them as well. Water-based ones, because it's like water and very soluble, and it, like, you know, really goes and the skin absorbs water, that you feel them less, in my opinion, as well. As you guys see, I keep avoiding putting foundation like on the forehead area. First of all, I just want to swatch the foundations just so you can see them, and two, honestly, I never do apply foundation in this area here, and even under my eye. I don't think it makes sense, especially if you're like oily skin, because then it's like you're adding so much more product, and then it's so much harder for your like face to last nice and long throughout the day, just because, you know, it's just so much product. So if you could avoid putting product, avoid it. I mean, I'm gonna contour there anyway, right, or bronze it, so for me it just defeats the purpose. But again, everyone to each his own. If you've been doing it a certain way and it works for you, perfect, go for it. But that's also another suggestion or another tip, you know, if you're feeling like sometimes your face isn't lasting long enough and you're like combination oily, maybe deduct using some products where you don't need it. But yeah, so this is, like I said, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation in the color Truffle. I do find this to be more of like when I am a little bit cooler, which is in the fall and winter months. So that's what that looks like. Very beautiful. Like I said, the coverage to me is a medium to full. I honestly have not looked on the site for these foundations to really recall what their coverage is, but I do believe a lot of them are just like medium to full. And honestly, you can build up like almost any foundation to be a little bit on the, you could build any foundation to be fuller than what it is. So that's this one. I love this foundation. But yes, I do feel this foundation a little bit more, like it has a little bit of more, I guess, heaviness or weight to it. So my third favorite foundation, dark skin friendly, is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear Makeup Stick. This is in the color 550 Suede, and in parentheses it has a C, meaning that it's a cool undertone. My packaging is obviously all smudged. However, this is the stick. As you can see, I was using it a lot, and then like I stopped because I'm like, no, this is like high-end shit here. This is a more golden undertone as well. As you can see, I use it mostly in the winter, fall. I didn't realize I had so many like fall, winter foundations disposable. Oh, okay, that's awesome. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. Just create some lines. Wow. Here's to preserving this foundation. Wow, wow, wow. Is the Total Control Drop Foundation from NYX in the color Deep Cool. Now, this is a very new one. I have not used this one yet. I never finish foundation, so the fact that I've finished this one, and this is crazy, right? Because this is the same color. I do not know why this new one looks so light and this one looks exactly like me. Okay? I don't know why that is. I'm thinking because possibly this one, like I've opened it and closed it and dropped it on my face, and I don't know. So we're gonna see. There's like absolutely nothing in here. Okay, so I can't even swatch this one, but I bought this new one and hopefully it's my color because they're the same color. It's both Deep Cool. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's both Deep Cool. And actually my sister had picked me up the new one from the actual NYX store, whereas I got the other one, my original one. That was the first time me using it. I got that from a beauty supply store. So I'm just like, well, this is the NYX store, so but hopefully. So it has a little dropper at the top. You press it so that you can get product in the funnel, I guess you would call this, or in the dropper itself. Anyhow, I'm just gonna grab my mirror. Okay. And this foundation is similar in like texture and like wetness to the Fenty and the No Filter. Like as you can see, it's like really like wet, like a really loose liquid formula. You get more coverage with the more drops that you apply. I feel like this is definitely medium coverage, and you could easily make it a light coverage foundation. That's why I like this one. I am in love with this foundation. This is the one that I use like every day. I feel like they matched me to a T with this foundation. Like, it's just so beautiful to me, and it just feels so comfortable. Like I just love, like I feel like I have nothing on. Like look, okay, I feel like I have nothing on. I am in love with this foundation, like seriously. And I don't even know how the one that I feel like is #1 beats it a little bit. I don't know. That has, you know, I ran out of this one though, so I wasn't using it, but this is definitely my go-to. So this list was hard, but I definitely feel like this list was necessary because, you know, there's such, I feel like I am dark, but I've had people match me to be so much darker than what I am. And obviously there's, again, nothing wrong with being dark, but it's like, but I want to be matched to my most accurate color, and you don't get that all the time when you go and get help from the beauty experts that are in these retailers. And so you just kind of have to dig a little bit, but there are brands that do cater to us, so let's not feel alone. But I definitely been feeling like these smaller cosmetic brands are very much so listening to dark women. Like, listen, we're not all red undertone, we're not all, you know, only yellow. Like, you do have some black people who have olive undertones. That is very much so a thing, you know? So you have to, these companies need to listen, and they need to create that for everyone. From the lightest of light, pale skin tone to the darkest of deep mahogany, beautiful skin tone. You know? And even the people that are in between. Because once again, I feel like I'm chocolate, but like there's definitely ranges before me and there's definitely ranges after me. And sometimes I feel like we're the forgotten people, like, you know? And here I am trying to decipher and help everybody. Alright, so that's this one. I'm in love with this foundation. Like, look at it. Isn't it just so beautiful? And I feel like this is also a natural matte finish. They say that it's matte, but I find that it's natural matte. Like, it still has a glow, a sheen. As you can see, as I've been doing this, I've just been wiping my face and applying the foundation. Like, I have not been priming. I have not been moisturizing. I'm just putting it on so you can see the foundations in its most complete natural state. And I find that this still has like a bit of a sheen, but not in a bad way. Like, it looks good. It's natural, it's comfortable, this is beautiful. I love this product. Okay, so now we're gonna go into number one. Okay, so now for number one. And it's so funny. I think that these two foundations are actually tied. The NYX Total Drop Control foundation and my number one choice, because I just haven't had the NYX one in like a month because I ran out, and every time I went to go buy it, like, no one had it. So I'm just like, are you kidding me? I feel like that one is, the NYX one is a little bit more comfortable for summer, because especially summer here in New York, it's really, really humid here. So I find that that one is just a little bit more comfortable because it is very slippery. Like I said, it is water based, and I don't know, it just feels more comfortable. It feels the most comfortable out of all of them. I would say that the Fenty and the No Filter one have similar like texture properties to the NYX one as well. But again, like the NYX one, I just put it and go, whereas the Fenty, I have to mix it with the ColourPop No Filter one. So who wants to do all of that? Not me. But my number one choice is the Kiko Milano Skin Evolution Foundation in the color Neutral 170. Okay, this is it. And I guess that's annoying as well. Like, the packaging is plastic, so that's good. At least, like with the other ones that are like glass, they can break and such, but you can't see the color. So you do have to go and swatch it in the store, and, you know, maybe even get a sample so you can see if it looks, the color is accurate to your skin tone. But I am in love with this thing. As I was saying, this texture is, the texture of this foundation is most close to, oh wow, see, like, and you can like kind of go crazy with this. Like, one pump is too much for me anyway. And it's too much for the coverage that I like. I mostly opt for medium coverage. I don't care for full coverage. But this is the foundation. As you can see, like, it's not as slippery as the other ones, that my liquid ones. And I guess it would be similar to the Nars one, but even this one I think is a bit thicker. As you can see, one pump is too much. Like, I actually had to stop myself from doing the full pump. I was reading the back because I wanted to know if it is water-based. I feel bad. I feel like most of them that I do have here are water-based, obviously, besides the stick ones. Funny enough, the stick ones are matte finish though, because a lot of times I feel like people think that all sticks just have that like really creamy satin velvet finish, and that's not true. I would say between the two, I think the Lancome one is like a truer matte finish. I think the Anastasia one has a bit of a sheen, but nothing crazy. Anyway, we are talking about the Kiko, okay, Skin Evolution Foundation. I'm in love with this thing. Like, the color is so accurate. It's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. And it feels pretty comfortable as well. So I do find, you know what though? I think that this is actually even less thicker than the Nars. Now that I'm like swatching it, it feels so like, it feels like water. Like it actually feels pretty refreshing and cool on my skin. It's not as like dense as I made it out to be, but I did remember it coming out of the tube is a little thicker than like just the NYX one per se. I'm gonna go ahead and put on the rest of my face, and I'll be back with my last minute thoughts and just to wrap up this video. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so that is my top 7 foundations for women of color, melanin mommies, dark skinned babies, whatever you want to call it, okay? Those were just the foundations that I've discovered that I'm like, you know what, I think like this is a serious topic, and that, you know, makeup and colors, like these things shouldn't be as much as an issue as it was back in the day, but it still seems to be, you know, some hiccups, some bumps. So I just rounded up the 7 foundations that I found that, you know, I had the like least issues of like having to mix and do all these things just to get the most accurate color. Until next time, everyone, please just like, subscribe, and also tell me like what you think of this video. Tell me what else you want to see. And if you guys have any suggestions of other foundations and other brands that I need to venture, write them in the comments. Until next time, everyone, have a good one.